Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hearthmind Challenge Series number 31. This is going to be our third and fourth place match between MasterFinal and Tansoku. My name's Tim Karasine Harris. I'm joined by Bolik Askier Watson and Alex DeBoss of Team Hearthmind. As always, how you guys doing tonight?
Hello. Doing good.
Hello, 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 right?
Right.
Okay, so this week, the same as last week, we're going to be doing the Conquest format again, which we are going to be switching to for our Friday night tournaments as our regular format going forward, and it's actually going to be renamed to the Conqueror series of Hearthmind. But for those of you that are fans of the Challenge series, the interesting deck building, that is not going away. Don't worry, guys. We are still going to have that. In the next couple weeks, we're going to be bringing it back as a tournament on another night as well. So we're just looking to expand. We're not changing. We're not selling out for you guys that have been with us for a while. The Challenge Series is definitely here to stay. So as I said, we have Master Final and Tansoku tonight in our third and fourth place. Master Final, he's been in our tournaments before. This is the first time, I believe, that we've had him in the top four. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do today. He's playing a Hunter, a Warlock, and Mage. And Tansoku brought Rogue, Hunter, and Paladin. So for any of you guys that aren't familiar with the way the Conquest format works, it's the winner has to change the hero that they're playing. So essentially, in a best of five series, you'll have to see all three decks from the player that wins. The loser can choose to keep the same deck, or they can change. It's at their option. And the series continues until one player has won 3 games with all 3 of their chosen heroes. So I think it gets to really showcase more of a variety of what the players have to offer. We get to see all the decks that they bring, so it should be exciting tonight.
I can't wait to see some OTK Priest.
That would be a new one, you know. I've been surprised by a lot of things in our tournaments that we've had in the past, so anything is definitely possible.
I've watched some games from these guys before, and of course I've watched quite a few games of the series tonight, so I might be mistaken here, but I believe that they have fairly standard decks. So Master Final has a fairly fast aggro hunter, a handlock, and a mech mage, and Tansoku brought the very popular recently Oil Rogue, hunter as well, and a paladin that's geared more towards control.
Oh, sweet.
I would probably give the edge to Tansoku in this matchup then, I think, in terms of looking at the lineup, because you figure Hunter or you said it's a control Paladin, but even so, like Hunter or Paladin can definitely take the game off the Warlock for sure, and I think Rogue would win against the Hunter or the Mech Mage fairly easily. So, like, I would tend to give the edge to Tansoku.
And the Rogue is not a terrible matchup against that Warlock either.
Yeah. I would say that the Paladin matchup with the handlock is pretty much equal to the amount of equalities it plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely their go-to card against a handlock. If it works out in their favor that they get good equalities, they can deal with those giants real quick. So, did you speak to the guys? Are they ready to get into the game?
Yes, they're doing that right now. What would you guys start with on either side?
Aggro.
Yeah, aggro
Always
is
got
definitely a safe one.
Guns
I would
blazing.
actually go with the Mech Mage on Master Finals side. That's a deck that, at least on ladder, has proven to be very consistent, and that's something you really want. And it doesn't really have terrible matchups. And on Tansoku's side, any one of those decks looks good to me.
I like the Rogue as an opener personally, because Rogue is kind of similar to you said with Mech Mage, that it really can win against anything.
I think they're probably going to go for what they believe is most unexpected, not thinking about consistency or matchups, but just rather what the opponent doesn't think they're going to play is probably the better thing to go with.
Yeah, so we shall see here, because like the conquest is still it's a relatively new format, so I think people are still figuring out how to plan out the matchups, as
Mhm.
opposed to the last hero standing where you would generally lead with what is your most consistent deck and then have counter picks to back it up behind that. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
I like the format because you can't have a direct counter to any of your opponent's deck, because at no point do you know exactly what he is going to play. And also, there are no sweeps, so you can't have one deck win it all.
Okay, they are getting into game here now.
Unfortunately, I will have to restart Hearthstone again. For those of you that are on Android, there seems to be some problems with the friend list on that. It's fixed on PC. The patch came out a few days ago to where your friend list is not screwed up anymore. You can see all your friends. However, there seems to be a problem on Android that showed up pretty much with that patch.
Okay, so we're actually going to have a Hunter Mirror match to start this.
This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be fast and dirty, that's for sure.
I think the advantage goes to MasterFinal, even though Tansoku got this really great coining play because Haunted Creeper in hand counters everything that they just played.
Yeah, it does so much work against the one health minions.
Hmm. And that's going straight to the face. For sure.
It's Hunter, I never would have expected to see it go face.
Right.
The mad scientist here, it could be a kind of a swing card, I think, because it's obviously going to be an explosive trap coming out of it.
You think?
I mean, some of the hunters now are running freezing traps again
Hmm.
since the nerf, but I think explosive trap would definitely be a swing in this matchup because
Yeah, for sure.
it'll wipe out the board.
It may have been the reason that Tansoku felt comfortable leading with the hunter, that it's an explosive trap hunter. I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised to see Unleash the Hounds here.
I personally do run 2 explosives and 1 freezing in my hunter, so it is around, and I've seen other players do it as well.
Yeah, I like Unleash as well here. And then you got to think about the sequencing on that, though. It comes important because what comes out of the scientist, or do you leave the scientist on board? What do you think, Alex?
I don't think you ever want to kill the scientist because if you look at it, that scientist dying, it would have to run into your 2-1, and he wants it to die. So if he's going to go ahead and trade his 2-2 into a 2-1, then you're super happy. You just can go for damage, and he might make that trade anyway. With Haunted Creeper and Unleash the Hounds, you can get rid of Leper Gnome and the Clockwork Gnome while still doing damage. I think that's incorrect, but I'm not a Hunter player, so I wouldn't exactly know.
I do agree with Alex here, though.
Yeah, what he did there, though, was that he triggered the trap with his creeper, which was essentially no real loss to him, and he can
Right.
still clear the board.
So it was a lot more conservative. He wasn't biting on rushing him down quite so early. He cycles through a secret that he dealt with efficiently.
Well, he was counting on that secret being explosive, which worked out. But
Mhm.
had it been a freezing trap,
That could have turned out different, completely different.
Yeah,
It looks like Tansoku here is playing the aggressor for sure. Like he's just trying to burn him down, which
yeah,
I don't think is a bad choice considering he has the other Wolf Rider in hand plus the abusive sergeant.
yeah.
It-
He already lost boards, so he doesn't exactly have a lot of options. It's all going to the face.
he has to at this point, which really doesn't look too good, because when you look at that Wolf Rider at that point, it was basically 3 damage for 3 mana, because it died to 1/3 of a Haunted Creeper.
I've learned to never underestimate just the amount of damage a hunter can do.
Oh, most definitely. It's just I'm saying that 3 damage for 3 mana just doesn't sound good.
Hmm.
And I mean, if you turn around and look at Master Final's side now, he has both of his Arcane Golems in hand, so he's sitting on quite a bit of burst as well.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he didn't Wolf Rider last turn, and he chose to go for Glaive Zuka. to get more burst just out there.
Yeah, I can see the value in playing the Glaivezuka though, because the Haunted Creeper stuck to the board, so he did get 2 swings out of it,
hmm
as opposed to something that would have been eliminated straight away.
Now Master Final is actually in a tough situation because he's at 14 health, and the only answer that he has is bursting the opponent down.
Yeah,
So
like you said, and he's
gonna have to race.
he's at this point losing the race, so
His hand does look a lot better, though, a lot burster.
Yeah,
the issue in a hunter matchup though becomes time, you know?
yeah.
That, yeah,
Well,
you may have the stronger hand, but if you can't get it out faster than the other person, it's a race. You're going to lose the race.
so he is going to go for trading, which is 4 damage, not going to the face. Probably his best option, though, because he wasn't going to win the race.
Yeah, and if you look, he's in a much stronger position now, I think. With the 2 Arcane Golems, that kill command is big.
Yeah.
But the kill command can be played this turn, so we're probably going to see Knife Juggler, Animal Companion. I don't see anything better than that.
No, that's definitely the best.
Oh, absolutely. And
Unless it's a taunt, there's a lot of damage coming from Master Final next turn.
I think best case scenario, obviously, Huffer, and usually the worst case scenario is the Leok, and he got Misha, which happens to be just about the middle of the road.
yeah, Misha is not bad right there, especially that he got one of the knives to clear one of the 1 health minions as opposed to hitting the face. So now this Wolf Rider, it wouldn't get through the Misha. He would have to sack one of his Arcane Golems if he wants to get through it this turn.
He's probably going to have to, because that allows him to deal 3 or kill the Knife Juggler.
Which, if he was paying attention, he knows that Tansoku is sitting on 1 spare part. So really, realistically, he's sitting on 1 card. So
Yeah.
he's not in that much danger, even though he's only at 13 health.
So my viewpoint from Master Final's position is that you clear the board and you get value off of your hero power so that you actually have enough damage eventually to kill your opponent.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because then he can lay down the explosive trap the following turn and have the Golem available and hero power.
It's also possible to Arcane Golem and either go full face or trade with the Knife Juggler once, just so that you have a lot of threats on board. Explosive Trap seems to me like the worst of the 3 plays there.
Well, he's counting on Tansoku going full face and then just
Yeah.
pretty much clearing the board.
Well, if he Leroy's,
And it wasn't
tragic.
terrible, considering the fact that Tansoku didn't have any minions in hand. Well, now he does, but didn't have any minions previous turn. And it really saves him from the Leroy.
Yeah. He knew that his opponent was going to top deck Leroy that turn, so that was the only play.
Well, Leroy and hero power would still be 8, because he could blow the explosive trap with his juggler.
That is true, yes.
And that would leave his opponent at 5, which would be lethal the following turn with the kill
And I
command
think
and
that's
hero
the
power.
only
Yeah,
Nope.
that's
And what else are you going to do to win this game?
yeah. Because
But-
looking at Master Final's hand right now, with what he has at the moment, he would lose. You know, he wouldn't be able to finish his opponent in the next turn. But it's a hunter, so he definitely has ways to squeeze out that extra damage that he could draw into.
Well, he would have to draw into
7,
5
9.
decks. Without a beast, that's not easy to do.
Yeah. But all he does need is 1 more turn to survive. Does he have it?
He has it with the abusive sergeant right there, plus the whelps. That's enough.
Exact lethal. Or
That is
1
enough,
above.
yes.
1 above.
So that was a very close game for the hunters.
And it was very brutal, as expected.
Yeah, I mean,
Match.
okay, so the first match is going to go to Master Final, which following this format, that means his hunter is out. Tansoku could bring his hunter again, or he could switch decks at this point.
We're going to have a very short break because MasterFinal said he is having some PC issues and he's going to switch to another computer. So it should only take a minute, but...
Okay, that's fine.
What are MasterFinal's remaining classes?
MasterFinal has a Warlock and a Mage he can go to next.
If I remember correctly, his Warlock is a handlock.
So I'm thinking he's probably going to pick Mage next.
Yeah,
Because you do not want to play Handlock against Hunter.
especially the full-on face Leroy
Yeah.
Arcane Golem version.
And even so, though, I think Handlock's Hunter matchup has gotten a little bit better since the release of GVG.
Since the release of Anti-Keelbot.
Exactly.
Yes, Anti-Keelbot changes that matchup completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because an extra 8 health on turn 5 is huge in terms
Handlock
of...
rely on Earthen Ring Farseer, which is 2 cards in the deck that each only heal you for 3. But now you have 1 card in the deck that can heal you for 8 all by itself. It's amazing.
And really all it does is allows them to survive to turn 9 wherein they Jiraxis and pretty much restart their life.
Yep. New life as a different demon that summons infernals.
Yeah, and on top of that, too, if you look at it in the sense of fitting their curve, like a typical Handlock, like they're trying to play the Drake or the Mountain Giant on turn 4, possibly turn 3. They really are not looking to play an Earthen Ring Farseer on turn 3. Even, turn 5 at playing a heal bot, even though they're both 3/3, getting an extra 5 health is so much more beneficial to fitting into the scheme of what a Handlock is trying to do in an ideal situation.
And another card that made that matchup, or a lot of matchups, better for Handlock is the Bomb replacing the Soulfire.
Oh,
You're not
totally.
discarding a card anymore, and that 1 less damage really doesn't matter all that much.
Handlocks can finally actually play Jiraxis instead of discarding him before turn 9.
Yeah, it was a painful thing, when you had to burn a Soulfire early.
Yeah.
You lose Jiraxis or one of
You
your...
would always lose Jiraxis if he was in the hand.
Alright.
MasterFinal is unfortunately still offline. He's trying to restart right now.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Tansoku we were waiting on.
No, Tansoku is doing okay. MasterFinal is the one that was having issues.
Do
Alright.
we expect Tansoku to switch deck choice from the Hunter or stay with Hunter?
Well, he's going against either a Warlock or a Mage, so I would not be surprised for him to pull out the Paladin right now.
Interesting, yeah. Like, the Mage is kind of 50-50, but the fact that it's not bad and the Warlock matchup is good, it does look like a good choice.
Now,
Because if I remember correctly, and this Warlock is a Handlock, then it really is pretty good against all of Tansoku's decks. The Mech Mage is also fairly decent against all of them, but the Paladin, if he manages to get the dream combo of having a lot of dudes turn into 3/3s, that's pretty difficult for the Mage to deal with, since there's no AoE in a Mech Mage.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the other side of that coin is if he doesn't have the immediate Quartermaster to follow up on those dudes, a Blast Mage can easily take out your whole board. So it can come down to a little more of a coin flip, I think, at least. And
I
you
could
said...
see... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you said it's a slower Paladin he's playing as well, correct?
I strongly believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say I watched one of his previous games. It's a slower Paladin, which is more favored against Mech Mage than the faster one, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. So what were you going to say there, Alex?
I was gonna say that I could see Tansoku saving the Paladin as like a last option after the Mage is already gone, as a way to take on a Warlock when Warlock is the only remaining class to be played, because it's a positive matchup and he has one game already down on him. He can take a little time to play different decks and save the best for last.
Yeah, I would agree with that thinking. So you guys don't think the rogue is... We're going to see the rogue here?
I actually think we would see the Rogue here. I think the Rogue has a better matchup against both. Well, no, I think the Rogue has a better matchup against Mage than the Hunter does, but Hunter does have a better matchup against Warlock than Rogue does.
Yeah, so I think it really is going to come down to who picks what. It's kind of a blind pick at this point.
I really
would
like
interested
the matchup, the mage matchup against a hunter, but I really don't like playing a rogue against a handlock. Just the amount of taunts that handlock can put up can be overwhelming for the rogue.
Yeah,
So you're right, Tim. I mean, it is kind of a blind pick at this moment, and what the classes they pick are going to be very important.
we might see the good old just stick with the Hunter and not switch decks. Don't overthink it, just keep going. It won the last game, so you might as well just play it.
Yeah, he does have the momentum going with the hunter, and... Or you're saying the hunter from Tansoku or from MasterFinal?
Right, Tansoku, because MasterFinal can't.
Yeah, I was just going to say his hunter is eliminated, so... Yeah, and hunter, too, it has the potential to steal a game from pretty much anything. You know,
Yeah.
if it gets that great draw, it can definitely steal, like, even against a mech mage, which has a lot of the between the hero power, the blast mage, to deal with, like, the low health minions. If mech mage doesn't get that good start with, like, a mech warper, something to that nature, it could get ran over by the hunter. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
I would be very afraid of the Mech Mage if I were Tansoku. It looks like the deck that could take a key game and set up the series for a win.
Okay, Master Final, this is very interesting, is saying that he probably was lagging because somebody was trying to hack his account and that his account got blocked, which is quite odd. He says he does own another account, so we'll see if he can relog on that and get in game.
Okay.
That's very odd. So he's not going to be Master Final anymore.
Okay.
So he got in on the other account?
Yes, he's trying to log in right now.
Could we have this new account's battle tag?
Rala1316, the one that he linked in the chat?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, is he going to have to construct these decks too? Is it going to take him a little bit of time?
That's a very good question.
I would imagine so. I don't think anyone has identical decks on two different accounts.
Yeah, though, if he does have like a stat tracker, they'll assemble the decks for you.
Oh, right. We might have to play a little gimmicky match of casters versus casters if take a while.
Well, we do have our final that we could go to if this really it doesn't work out, and they could finish this game at a later time when they get it sorted.
All right, so we don't get to see OTK Priest.
Not today.
Oh no.
Yes, let's give Master Final another minute to...
Yeah, just to get this worked out.
One of these tournaments, I'm gonna bring OTK Priest.
And I would love to see you in the final, be casting that, so I can sit here just with my, I can't even think of the word, the, face palm moment, where I just don't even know what's going on. Those are sometimes the most fun matches to watch and cast, where you're just looking at it and you're like, what is going on here? I don't even know.
I'm gonna get working on OTK Priest soon. Just
All right.
My MasterFinal got back in the game, so
Okay. Yeah, I see him coming up now. Excellent. So we should be back in business here in a second. Little hiccup, you know. Wouldn't be a tournament without that anymore, you know. It seems like every other tournament you watch these days, it's some kind of hiccup between like people getting DDoS or disconnects in games. You know, it's always something, but that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're dealing with online games.
unfortunately we can't have everybody meet up in one place one week and do this in the LAN. We would love to, and maybe at some point we'll get to that, but we need to, I don't know, get teleportation going or something so you can get everybody in one spot.
Yeah, you got to get on that and invent that, Alex. You got to put the OTK priest on hold. We need you to build us a teleporter.
okay. No, I'm gonna build OTK Priest. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so it says they're preparing to battle. So, are they? Did you speak to them? Are they ready to start the game? Is everything good?
Yes, it looks like they're attempting to restart it.
Okay, yeah, they're going in right now. So, we should be into that in just a moment.
I'm very interested to see what decks they come up with this time.
Okay, so
This might decide the series, actually.
it is going to be the Tansoku's Hunter again against the Mech Mage.
What do you guys think? I personally favor the Mech Mage over the Hunter in this particular matchup.
I would agree as well, and especially judging from Tansoku's starting hand, lacking a good one drop really is going to hurt him. Because all he has for a turn one play right now is an Abusive Sergeant, and in an aggro deck, having to play your Abusive Sergeant on turn one is not a good thing.
I still think he should have.
I would agree there, because Mech Mage is fast as well, so you really need to develop some type of board against them.
You can't allow the Mech Mage to gain tempo, because you're not going to get it back.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think that...
Be that bad because they spend 2 mana doing it, and 2 mana in the early game is a Mech Warper that's not being played, or a Noyotron that's not being played. So you'd be super happy for that to happen, actually.
Oh yeah, that's a full turn.
Right.
Yeah, and this Noyotron right here, I think is big, because that's gonna...
VP.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's only a 1/2 taunt with a Divine Shield, but for...
Does so much.
Yeah, to slow down the Hunter for essentially 2 turns at this point, because he only has the Haunted Creeper on board, that can decide the matchup right there, I think.
Well, with some RNG, he might be able to get rid of it this turn, and it looks like he's going for it.
Interesting. I would have gone for the Clockwork Gnome.
Well, he didn't get it.
Nope. Still just gotta hit the Divine Shield.
I do like what he tried to do. It was a good idea. He wanted to hit it and then get rid of the taunt. So I probably would go for the same play. It was a 33% chance, though.
It's something I wasn't thinking about because I saw the Divine Shield and figured it's completely impossible to kill that creature this turn. I didn't think that the knife could hit it and then you could run the buffed creature in.
Yeah, that Divine Shield really does a lot, you know, for essentially 1 mana over a Goldshire Footman, and you see the Noyotrons all over the place.
Yeah. Noyotron is pretty great. Then it just gets to trade with a minion after slowing you down, healing for a bunch, not letting you trade well.
And we see Chugga Chugga in MasterFinal's hand, and if that comes on the board and doesn't get dealt with immediately, that's game over.
Yeah. No Eaglehorn Bow damage is a very unhappy hunter.
And we know from the previous game that Tansoku runs the Glazuka as well.
Right. So that's another bit of damage that you can't deal if Snow Chugger comes out.
And I'm surprised he didn't go for it. I personally would try to get that on board as soon as possible before he can develop those weapons.
Yeah, see,
Something you can do later, and you have a 4 attack minion on the board right now as a result of not doing that.
yeah, that's I was gonna say as well. The tempo he's generating with that, plus it sticks to the board as well. Like right now with the Cogmaster with the buff, he's got 11 damage on board. So as we were talking about earlier, the tempo swing that Mech Mage can get, where it just once it builds that, it's so hard to take it back from. That's kind of the point he's sitting at right now, I think.
Yeah.
Because he has another Annoyotron in hand, he has a Frostbolt to deal with anything really that comes out, or even if he chose to, he could freeze face if it comes down to that at some point.
Yeah, and that's also 3 damage to help you win the race. That's the difference between winning a turn earlier and a turn later.
Yeah. And plus the Whirling Blades spare part as well. Like that damage can add up because if you look, he's got the 4 health Tinkertown and he's got the Shredder, which at 3 is like it's small, but to a hunter, like taking out a 3 health minion is, it's 3 damage that isn't going to the face.
Right.
The thing is that right now, with that trap coming up, if the mage decides to go face, that board is wiped. Well,
So-
minus whatever drops out of the shredder.
This was quite the swing turn, actually, for the hunter. He is going to lose board, but so does the Mech Mage. The Mech Mage loses a lot of the board, and there's still damage being dealt to the Mech Mage this way. So it seems like the only way that the hunter could come back.
That is actually a very good drop for the mage.
I was just going to say that's really
Oh.
strong right here because he has the
With
2
the
spare
spare
parts and the Frostbolt.
Yeah.
A lot of damage.
I would have gone for Snow Chugger just because a weapon could help swing the game, and if you could shut that down a turn early, it would be nice.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to see tracking here.
What is he looking for?
That's was going to be my question. I was just trying to think, what is he looking for?
Maybe the owl, but dropping a kill command seems really terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
this
doesn't help you that much.
is a tough choice he's looking at right here.
I think Wolf Rider's out of the equation.
Yeah, I would say
Wolf
Wolf
Rider's
Rider
one
is the
you can live
least of the
without.
2.
So he did decide to go for the kill command. You can't really drop kill command.
Yeah, I feel like he wanted to take the owl there, but decided he couldn't afford to lose the kill command.
Ooh, fireball. Game over.
Let's see
That's a
it.
seven attack mana addict.
Right?
So
Plus, that's 11 total
board.
on board.
Plus 6. It's not game over yet, but
Yeah, but it's
enough
basically
damage.
game over. The only way the hunter can stop this is by killing the opponent, and with a taunt on board and 17 health, there's no way.
So it looks like it's going to be over next turn.
Right.
If he uses both spare parts and the Frostbolt, that's going to be a big mana addict.
Yeah. Frostbolt the face is what I would expect to happen. Maybe Time Rewinder back the Annoyotron for
Yeah, just
or
to
Divine Shield
get
back.
the Divine
For
Shield
shield.
back.
Whirling Blade your Annoyotron if you want to make it trade better. Probably just for damage though.
Yeah, he's just going for the damage. He's so far ahead right now. I don't see how he wouldn't.
I don't know how I feel about the Whirling Blades on the Mana Addict there, though.
I think it makes sense. It's 1 damage this turn and 1 damage the next turn versus just 1 damage next turn. That may not actually happen.
Yeah, but
The
if
Annoyotron is going to stop damage regardless. Oh, Glavezuka. That poor Glavezuka.
Yeah,
that's
that's
so bad.
that is a painful top deck right there.
Couldn't have
Yeah, it's
come
game over at this point.
turns earlier. Yeah. You probably just concede. You've already shown Glavezuka though, so I guess you can just throw it out there to show how sad you are.
Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't see the fireball in his opponent's hand, but I still don't think he would have had an out here. even outside of the fireball.
Right now, you're looking for a way to kill off your own mad scientists, so I wouldn't be surprised if he use kill command on his own scientist just for a little bit of hope.
I think he's gonna kill the mana addict with it.
Oh, that's right, he can because of Arcane Golem. So there might be hope? No.
Well, there's not because of the fireball, but in his eyes,
Yeah.
he still has hope. Oh, why that?
What? Oh, that was like...
I think I was gonna say I think he's thinking of time rewinding the Arcane Golem.
Okay, so that was saying if you have Fireball, you win anyway. This is the way that I win next turn if a miracle happens.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Fireball.
Okay, so MasterFinal is going to take the second one with his mage.
This might be a quick series.
Yeah, it could be.
Lots of aggro, but now both the hunters are gone. Oh no, right, because this is whoever wins.
Yes,
stops
so-
playing,
Yeah, so MasterFinal must play his Warlock right now,
yeah.
and Tansoku has all three of his decks, which I don't really know what I would play if I were him. I guess the Paladin?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think the Paladin's the safest pick here.
You might go Rogue just because you're allowed to lose a game, right?
No.
No, at this point he
At
can't
this point-
because MasterFinal's won with both of his other decks, so if he takes the next game, he wins it.
Right, because this is a backwards format that I still haven't wrapped my head around yet.
Okay, and they are getting right into this last game.
Oh, guess what? It's not. It's not Handlock.
Well, I'm allowed to be wrong every now and then.
Right. Well, I was just wrong a few seconds ago, so obviously
Oh, it looks like a Demon Lock, judging by the Void Caller there.
interesting. So it's probably the version that plays from a while back that plays like Void Terrors.
Yeah,
Card
that would be
thing.
my guess. Like the more tempo-y Warlock,
Yeah.
like the mid-range. I'm trying to think
Oh
of.
my gosh, we're totally wrong. It plays Lord Jiraxis. Never mind.
Yeah,
Lock.
yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one.
I really don't like putting Lord Jiraxis and Doomsayer, Doomguard in one deck.
Yeah, well, that's why you have Void Caller, I guess.
Yeah, and against the Hunter here, a 315 Jiraxis, I think, would actually do a lot of work.
Yeah, but you might actually need the health reset to win the game.
Yeah, we don't know if he has any other heal
You
in
might
here, though.
keep nuts.
Yeah, he may have heal bots. If it's a true Demon Lock, he could have the Mistress of Pain in there as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of damage that the Hunter has dealt. This is basically the ideal game for the Hunter right now.
Yeah, and it's really already beginning to be too late for the Warlock.
Yeah. Like, what can you do? All you can do is really play stuff that's good in 1 turn from now or 2 turns from now, and you're really looking at taking too much damage by then.
Yeah, and that's the thing that makes the Hunter matchup so bad for Warlocks too, is the life tap. It draws you cards, but number one, you're sacrificing your tempo for it, whereas the Hunter is just pushing more and more damage on you, and you're helping him to get ahead in that race to get to his goal.
Yeah.
That you need to stabilize fast enough that he doesn't just completely run through you.
You're killing yourself, and you're also not spending mana on taking back the board or killing them.
Yes.
So you're basically doing everything that the Hunter wants you to do.
My shield for Argus.
This version of Warlock has a lot of burst, but I think it's just too late for that.
Burst, really? Does Demon Lock have a lot of burst?
Well, with the power overwhelming, the charge minions,
Huh. I thought they were, like, all used as activators for buffing things, and
Well, usually are, but you do have the ability to do a lot of damage within one turn.
that is true.
I
9
really
damage
like
with
that silence.
6 mana is pretty good.
I really like that silence. That was smart.
Yeah, he can't kill it off and pull out something that would be useful, like Mal'Ganis would be really useful.
And I'm sure Mal'Ganis is in that deck.
I would imagine so. I don't think you play Demon Lock without Mal'Ganis. It's just too fun. Probably Knife Juggler Implosion after proccing the Explosive Trap.
Yeah, you absolutely have to pop the trap before you play the implosion.
So you most likely trade your 3/2 into the 2/1 and then attack the face with one of your other minions. And then Knife Juggler Implosion. That way you're putting up enough damage to actually try to come back in the game.
Oh, I really don't like that.
Oh, whoa, why? You know it's Explosive Trap.
Yeah, I'm quite confused by that play as well.
I think
Huh. He just really wants to keep that taunt, but you're playing not
Okay,
to
I
lose
can
at this
see that.
point. Unless
I
he's
can
trying to
see that.
stall until Jiraxis.
yeah.
I think
So
that
he-
may be what he's trying to do because I seen him mousing over it there.
Yeah, he
As
decided to put pressure instead of putting pressure on to try to win the game. He's trying to not lose the game until turn 9.
and that's 3 more turns he's got to live through, which
It's kind of tough.
yeah, without some type of heal being drawn here, that's not going to be an easy feat.
And he can't exactly tap, and he's never ever gonna play the Flame Imp.
Yeah, so he's definitely in a difficult place here. Because, I mean, by even playing, like, the Juggler or any of that stuff to try to get some knives out, you're just sacrificing that to the Explosive Trap.
I think the real question here is, first of all, does he play Healbot? And second of all, if he does he tap for it?
I don't think he does. Well, there's a possibility of him not playing it
Right.
because of all the other tech cards that he has in it. He had to cut something, and Killbot
Yeah.
is often one of the cards that is cut.
He may be dead here to Unleash and Juggler.
Oh yeah. And he could play a Hunter's Mark on 3/2 and a Mad Scientist for an extra knife or Hero Power. It's looking like quite a bit,
Because he's got 5 from the weapon and hero power,
right?
plus 3 dogs
3 dogs and 3 knives.
and 3 knives, yeah.
So that's a total of 11 damage.
Yeah,
You need to be a little bit lucky on it. Why didn't he Hunter's Mark the 3/2? Really?
and at that point he could have even Hunter's Mark.
So if he would have Hunter's Marked and the knife would have hit it, then that would have been lethal, right?
Yeah,
Well, I guess he's trying to save the Hunter's Mark for something more dangerous that might come up.
That was a
Say
misplay.
Mal'Ganis.
That wasn't the... Oh, right, he didn't draw heal. Okay. And he had no card draw in hand. Because he
Yeah,
did it
so-
so fast that I thought that maybe he said, okay, I don't have anything in hand, I gotta tap. But I guess he just realized he was dead pretty quickly.
yeah, that was one of those I give up, I'm gonna die in style type of moments.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the hunter is out for Tansoku, so that means we're gonna get to see either his rogue or paladin now. What do you think his next pick's gonna be against the warlock?
is
Now
the-
that he's seen that it's not a traditional handlock.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand the format. Don't judge me.
You'll get it one of these days, Alex.
Eventually. Maybe that's why I don't win these tournaments, because I don't even understand the format that I'm in.
Shall be mine. I will
Okay, so
fight
he picked his paladin because they just got into the game.
Paladin makes sense.
Paladin makes a lot more sense because you see that with a control deck, you can essentially game board and force enough pressure on this handler. Since this Warlock is going to deal damage to itself anyways, you don't really need that much burst to get it down.
As Tansoku, the game looks pretty much under control. You're kind of sad that you didn't get your mini bots, but you do have double consecration.
Yeah, that's going to deal with all of these small minions.
In the long run, you should win with a hand of double consecration against you. Nice curve for the Zoo player, though.
I wouldn't really call this Zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it plays Flame Imps, Dark Iron Dwarf. I call it Zoo.
It's a little more mid-rangey, I think, than Zoo. Like, this would
Yeah.
probably be, like, I think calling it a mid-range Warlock would probably be the most accurate description going by, like, the archetypes that we currently have.
So in the early game, you call it Zoo, and then once you get to about turn 5, we can start calling it a mid-range Warlock.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
What do you guys think of the consecration here?
I agree with it because that's a lot of damage that you'd be taking otherwise.
Yeah, he eliminated both of those Flame Imps, which is 6 damage a turn.
It was a 2-for-1, and it also damaged that. It stopped 6 damage to the face. He has another one, so he doesn't need a full clear.
The fact that he's keeping another one in the hand makes me think that that was a fairly safe play. Though
Yeah.
using it on just 2 minions, knowing how much this war can flood the board, I don't know. That's risky.
Mhm.
Granted, like you guys said, it stopped 6 damage to the face, which is pretty significant.
Yeah. He probably won't fall behind with another in hand and a Belcher in his hand. And 2 Aldors even. To reduce damage every turn.
And I think we're probably going to see the second Consecrate here.
Yeah, Implosion seems like overextending enough. But Sludge Belcher fits the curve, and then you could just Equality Consecrate later after more is on the board.
That Direwolf Alpha, though, next turn,
Oh, yes.
with
MVP.
all those imps on the board, is going to be, like you said, MVP all day.
And then you also have the Dark Iron Dwarf.
Yeah, so he's going to get a lot of value out of those imps right here.
I think that's definitely what he's going to go for. You get to trade away the part of your board that dies to Consecration, and keep the part that doesn't die to Consecration.
Yeah, this is a very big turn for the Warlock.
Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that.
I was wondering if the thing that the Dark Iron Dwarf buffed mattered. I think it
Yeah,
did.
because it eliminated 3 health off of the Belcher as opposed to 2 that it would have had from just the Direwolf buff. So he would have had to trade 2 imps into it.
Yeah, he saved 1 imp that way.
Okay. Equality Consecrate looking really good, especially because no demon is going to come flying out of MasterFinal's hand.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. For all he knows, he could be sitting on a Mal'Ganis. Though he does have the Big Game Hunter to back it up. He would take 9 damage right here, which is pretty dangerous considering he's only at 14. But
He really has no choice at this point, though.
Yeah.
It's really nothing, so you just have to go for it.
And he's going to be really happy seeing no demon come out of that Void Caller.
Yeah, just a 2-1. However, that 2-1 just became a threat with that draw.
Why do you call?
I think he just abusive Sergeant and go face. He just used 2 consecrations.
Yeah, I would agree. There's
Hard board wipe. Nobody plays Avenging Wrath anymore.
Yeah, Whale got everyone off of playing Avenging Wrath.
So let's. What options does Tansoku have here?
Oh, it looks to me like you Aldor one of the 2 attack guys and play Piloted Shredder, which looks really depressing, but I still think it's what you're gonna go for. You might bluff a Quartermaster with your Muster for Battle, force the Zoo to trade if they don't have lethal. Does any play he make actually keep him alive, though?
I
No.
don't think so with the power overwhelming. Because nothing he can do is going to get through that Void Caller, or Void Walker, rather.
Nothing he can do is gonna get the opponent's board below 4 damage,
Yeah.
below 6 damage. Right? Oh, well, Aldor makes the opponent 1 off lethal.
He is not going to play Aldor on a 2-1.
I would. Basically just because it's better than Muster for battle right
Oh.
now.
He might play it as a 3-3, but his reasoning is not to, reduce that 2-1 into 1-1.
Right, so that would have been the play that kept him alive, but only for so long, really. One more turn, if he didn't top deck many, many, many buffs. He would have tapped into Alpha anyway. So it didn't matter, that game was just lost.
Yeah, so that is going to be the series for MasterFinal then.
Yep. He managed to get rid of all of his decks so he can no longer play decks, which means he wins for some reason. Funny.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make it sound like such a bad thing.
Yeah, he got rid of all of his decks, finally.
But so congratulations to MasterFinal for that's his first top 4 finish in one of our tournaments. I know he's been one of our regular players in the past week, so I'm happy to see him get up there and finally take one.
Especially since he had PC issues, so I know that had to be really aggravating for him, and it's stress-inducing, which usually makes you misplay.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
He still managed to play very well.
Yeah,
And
no,
he went offline right away after the game, so apparently he was tired or stressed or something. He just had to get away from the computer.
yeah,
Oh, he just came back on. He said the lag is heavy. MasterFinal
Okay.
is actually in Spain right now, so it is currently 7 in the morning. So he has to be pretty tired.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, it was definitely a long night for him, but it paid off in the end when he got to take the series off of Tansoku.
And a winner of $900,000.
Not this time, Alex. Maybe next time.
Okay. I just want to
Alright.
see money fly everywhere.
Okay, so we're just going to take a 5 to 10 minute break here, and then we'll be back with the finals. So we will see you guys in a few.